to take a few moments here to show you how to put together your Barnabas racer parts. Alright, the first thing that we have here is our red chassis. This is our metal car body. One thing I want to point out, guys, is that this is the front, alright, with this kind of pointed part here, and then this is the back, okay? That will come into play later. Okay, we got that. We have two wheels here, alright? Now, I've already put these rubber things on there. These are the rubber tires. I'll take these off just to kind of show you how those go on. So I'll put those back on. We'll do that in a second. And then we have, this is the caster wheel. All right, our car is only going to have two motors, so it's going to be a two-wheel drive car. And then the other part of the car will be covered by a caster wheel. So think of kind of like a tricycle, okay? So you got two wheels. It's going to be on the back, and then one of these caster wheels here on the front side over here. All right, the next thing we have, I want to point out, is we got these two screws here. These two screws are going to be for the wheels, and then you have these four nuts are going to be for the motors, and then these four larger nuts and four larger screws are going to be for the caster wheel. All right, so the first thing I like to typically do here is go ahead and put these guys on. Go like this, and kind of, there's a little groove here, so you slide the plastic in, and then you're holding one side and just kind of pull and kind of make it go around. You got to pull a little bit, but not too hard. I'm pulling, and then that snap on there. There. Now you got your rubber tire on there. There's one, and let's go ahead and do the second one here. Okay. All right, there we go. That was easy. All right, so now we got that. Now the next thing, and I would say probably the hardest part, is putting on your motors. So you're gonna notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of these slots. So this car could actually hold 4 motors. Our kit only has two motors, and so it's important to remember we're not gonna put it on the front, because remember the front's over here. We're gonna put the motors on the back. So here and here. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and grab our stuff from last week. So last week we were working on servo motors, and I went ahead and put it on this piece of cardboard for some testing. So we need to take these two motors off so that we can put it onto the car. I'm going to disconnect it for now. We can always connect it on later. Let's see, not too bad. All right, I'm going to move that layer off. Okay, let's go ahead and take this motor off, and then, all right, that's good. And then this one too. There we go. Okay, so we got two motors. One of them still has some little sticky residue. That will be good enough. Okay, so now we got to put the motors in to the slots. All right, so I'm gonna flip this over. Okay, and we want to put our motors in like this way. All right, one thing I want you to notice is the white. This is called the motor shaft. All right, I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it better. This white motor shaft is facing toward the back of the car. You could also put it in this way, where the white motor shaft is facing more toward the front of the car. And that is actually what you don't want, okay? So we want to turn it, make sure it's like that. Okay, and now we find the screws that we need. You're going to take one of these and then feed it through. Okay, see how it just kind of went through there? And then you got to find the matching nut. This little tip of the screw here, we need to get through this nut. And so it can be challenging at times. So this is what I really recommend. All right, so I'm a little bit closer now so that you can see. You're gonna push it so that it's just slightly sticking out on this side here, and then you can take this nut and just place it right on top and kind of just hold it there. So you're kind of holding the nut there. Now don't push it so much that this screw comes out. So right now it's kind of in the air, but you're holding the nut. So then I'm gonna kind of hold this whole thing here, and then I'm gonna get my screwdriver. Okay, and then I just try to screw it in as I'm holding with my thumb. I'm going to do this. All right, I can already feel it catching. So if I show you on this side, you can see that it's on there. All right, now I can tighten it. Now to tighten it, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I hold it on one side and then tighten. Okay. All right, so that one we got in there. All right, now that might have been kind of hard to see, so I'm gonna do it one more time with this one. Okay, I'm gonna put it down here so that you could get a clear view of it. So I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna turn it this way a little bit here. Let's get it in there. Okay. And then remember the key is to have it so it's just slightly sticking out. Here, let me do this. Okay, there I go. It's on there. All right, and then now, same thing as before. I have to carefully hold the nut, and then I'm gonna turn as I'm holding the nut. Righty-tighty. I think it caught, so that's good. Keep going, keep going. You can see it's going until it's tight. All right, so not the easiest thing, but also not impossible. And the thing I always say here, guys, if you want to build robots, you got to get used to tightening nuts and bolts in hard to reach places. Think of any complex robot out there, hundreds, potentially thousands of nuts and bolts. So this is good practice. And we want to make sure that the motor is solid, so I'm trying to wiggle it. It's not moving at all. We're good. All right, and remember, this has to be facing toward the back of the car, the white shaft. You don't want to put it the other way. You're going to have to do the whole thing over if you do that. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the other motor. Now, same thing here, right? We want to make sure that we have it like this. The shaft is facing toward the back here. Okay, let's put our first screw in. Okay, once it's kind of in there, then you can switch hands if you want to. Hold and screw in. Okay, I am almost there. Move this out of the way. Let's get one more. 4 total, right? Put it in. Might need to poke this a little bit just to, there we go. Okay, now that went all the way through, but let's come back a little bit. Okay, let's get this on there. Okay, then I'm gonna screw it. All right, going through. And right. Both solid. Nice. All right, so something that you also want to know here, you see no sticker here, but a sticker over here. We want to keep that in mind because what's actually happened here is that this motor is assembled opposite of this motor. That's why you see no sticker here, but a sticker here. That's going to be important when you start programming. So when you start to move forward, if you want the wheels to turn the same direction, they actually have to be opposite of each other to go the same direction because they're assembled opposite. So remember that when we start coding, that's going to matter. All right, so we have that in. The next thing that we want to do, let's go ahead and let's put these guys on. All right, there's two sides of this. There's this side without a large hole, and then there's this side with this large hole. All right, so you want to put the side with the large hole. That is going to fit onto this white coupling here. So you're going to push down, and here's the thing. You see, you want to push it, get it so that there's no white showing. Keep pushing. There's very little white, maybe almost no white showing. That's what you want, and that means that it's on there tightly. All right, and then now we just put a screw right there. All right, so then I get my baby screw, put it there, righty-tighty, keep going until it's tight. Okay, nice and snug. It doesn't really wobble. All right, okay, so now let's do the other side. Okay, again, I want the side with the large hole. Okay, and then let's put it on. I want to make sure that I get it so that there's no white showing. Keep wiggling until there's no white showing, basically. All right, let's get my other baby screw and put it in here. Okay, there we go. Now I got two wheels. All right, we can take this, we can go through here if we like. Don't have to, but I kind of like to do that. All right, now we got this caster wheel. We're almost there, guys. Let's turn this around. It goes like this. Okay, if you try to do it like this, the holes don't line up, so it's pretty easy to figure out. You got to make sure that all four of these holes line up. Okay. All right. So once you get it lined up, here we go. Let's take one of these big screws, stick it through. Okay, that worked pretty well. And then take one of the big nuts and get it on there. All right, and now this I just kind of go like that. Okay. Now with these I like to kind of just do all four of them, get them kind of on there, kind of snug. And then I can tighten it later. Okay. Get this guy on there. All right, let me do this. See, it's not gonna work the first time, but we got patience. I think I got it. Okay. And then, last one. Let's get this last nut on there. There we go. Okay, so again, I just kind of put them on loosely. So now it's my job to go ahead and tighten this. All right, so now tighten, hold the nut on one side, and then screw on the other side. There you go. 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, let's see. So now it's pretty good. Snug here. This guy can spin. I got my 2 wheels. All right. So we're looking pretty good right now. The next thing that we want to do is actually mount this stuff onto the car. So the way we want to do that is the breadboard is going to go here, okay? And then this guy, we're going to go here, like this. All right, so you might be wondering, well, why do we want it to go this way? Well, the breadboard is going to go here because actually later in the class we're going to put a sensor here, and the sensor is going to allow the robot to be able to see what's in front of it. So we want to make sure it's at the front of the car, okay, this part. And then this part, the main thing, guys, this USB connector, that's for programming, and this is for power. You can think, if you think a little bit, you know, we wouldn't want it to be like this, because then you can't get power past the power connector past this wheel, and also you have problems this way. You also wouldn't want it like this, because you're trying to do power, get the power connector through, it could hit the front of the car or the breadboard here. Okay, so the best way is actually this way. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the breadboard on. The nice thing about these breadboards, the back of this has an adhesive, so you can take this yellow paper off like that. And then now let's just put it on the car. Let's kind of position it. Be careful, you know, for me, I like things nice and neat. The adhesive is super sticky, so make sure it's where you want before you press. All right, kind of like it there. So now I'm going to press. All right, that is, watch this, it's like super on there. It's pretty hard to take off actually once it's on there, so that thing's not going anywhere. So now we got to put this onto here. The way that we do that is we put sticky foams, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that, and then we stick it on. All right, so I got my sticky foams here. I only have 3. I would recommend 4, but 3 will be fine too. No problem. Sometimes you gotta make do with it. All right, so I'm gonna take one side off. I like to put one here. All right, it's probably a good idea to put them all on here first. Okay. So let's go ahead and make this thing sticky by taking these guys off. Okay. And remember, put it the right way. I think that's a good spot. Push down. All right. We are good to go. Okay, one last thing that I like to put on there is our battery. Now the best place for the battery I found is actually right here on the bottom of the car. If we put it like right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Found some more sticky foams here, so take at least one, it's good. Boom, like that. And then let's stick it on. Okay, push. All right, and then now see what's nice, if you go like this can go ahead and connect directly onto there really nicely. All right, and let's see, we also want to do, if we remember where these go, I think it was 9 and Or was it 10 and 11? You know what? I think it's 10 and 11. Sometimes we switch them around. At the end of the day, if it's not a big deal, we can always change that. But I think it's 10 and 11. Okay, this came out earlier. I think it was pin 7 over here. All right, cool. Now I might have some code on there that still works from last week. Let's see what happens if I push. Oh, check it out. I think that was my code, that it spins fast and then slow. Now if you notice, the wheels are going the opposite direction. Let me do it again. So, bonus question, what do you think is going to happen if I put this down? Is it going to go move forward? Is it going to move backwards? What is it going to do? Pretty cool. Okay, the reason why it's spun is because when the wheels spin opposite direction on a car, it's going to spin in place. And we'll get into that when we start doing maneuvering and stuff like that. But here we go. So by the end of this week, hopefully your car looks like this. We've got your wheels, motor wheels. You got your caster wheel. You got your battery. Okay. You got your board on there, and then also your breadboard up here. All right, we are good for today. That's all we have this week. Next week, we're going to start putting code onto this thing and making it maneuver around obstacles. All right, that's it.